Who is the best example of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain? Jim Jones. It is said that if he would have died in the 60s, he would have been memorialized as a civil rights hero. He was the first to integrate churches in Indiana. He pressured local restaurants to allow African Americans to be able to eat there. He paid the bills of the poor many lived in his house. He adopted needy kids of various ethnicities. He opened soup kitchens in rough neighborhoods, no-cost nursing homes, and lived a modest life with little to his name to make it all happen. He also toured the evangelist circuits to making large sums of money, just about all of which went to support his poor congregation, of which there were thousands of members. After many years of this service, something happened: drugs, narcissism, paranoia, and wild ideologies that pushed him into a complete monster. He convinced about these poor people to follow him into a jungle to live out their communist fantasies, only to be murdered by Jim. 918 men, women, and children including Jim and his wife died by poisoning on a single day. Edit: Jim died by gunshot wounds. Marshal Philippe Pétain from France. World War I hero after Battle of Verdun and World War II head of the collaborationist regime of Vichy that helped the Nazis. Fritz Haber. He discovered a way to synthesize ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen gas, what is crucial for fertilizers. He was also later employed by Germany during World War I to find a way to weaponize chlorine, thus becoming the father of chemical warfare after successfully doing so. Basically, he saved billions and killed millions. Oscar Pistorius. From global inspiration after winning multiple gold medals running as a double amputee, to convicted wife murderer. Philippe Pétain, a French general who played a crucial role in beating Germany in World War I. 25 years later he collaborated with the Nazis and became the head of Vichy France, a German puppet state. Bill Cosby? I mean, he was always pretty shitty, but people thought of him as a hero. Jimmy Savile. When he died, someone paid £130,000 for his silver Rolls-Royce because it was his car and he was so loved. Famous. His body was displayed in Leeds my sister went to see, and he was adored across the nation. That was until all of his evil deeds were revealed. His body is now buried in an unmarked grave so that it can't be destroyed. He died a hero but could have easily become public enemy number one, especially in the era of Me Too and Jeffrey Epstein etc. had he lived a little longer. Blizzard Entertainment. Alice Sebold. She wrote a best-selling book about a young girl's rape and murder, The Lovely Bones, that she said she was able to write because of her own experience of being sexually assaulted. She made millions off the film rights and was hailed as a hero for her strength and resilience. A few years later it was discovered that she had lied on the stand about recognizing her rapist. Her claim that she definitely knew it was him was the only evidence against him. The man she accused spent decades in prison for a rape he didn't commit while she made mad money off being a victim of sexual assault. Added she eventually apologized. Aung San Suu Kyi went from being a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and pivotal figure in moving Burma towards a partial democracy to becoming a supporter of genocide in her country. Joe Paterno. Penn State football coach. Built the program into a nation's powerhouse. Got his kids to graduate. Helped build the university and donated millions. Many of his players still swear by him. But he almost certainly ignored his defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky grooming and abusing kids through Jerry's charity. Paterno was fired and died shortly after, before the investigation was really ever even started. Every time his name comes up now it ignores any good thing he ever did and is only ever associated with Jerry Sandusky. Google. Don't Be Evil is completely wiped out of every web page they own. And for a good reason. Aung San Suu Kyi. Long-suffering symbol of peaceful democratic resistance to tyranny, then one sniff of power and she showed she was also a bigoted genocide denier. Rudy Giuliani. From America's Mayor to Kevin Spacey would have gone down as an acting legend. Robert Mugabe. He freed Zimbabwe from the British Empire and helped other African countries towards decolonization. He then turned into a dictator of his country and fucked up the economy and other stuff. At it, to be more precise, Mugabe fought against the white minority rule in Zimbabwe, Rhodesia, which resulted from the British colonialism. Jared. From Subway. Joss Whedon. Michel Platini. From hero of the flamboyant but losing French national team of the 80s to a corrupted among corrupted, casting his vote for Qatar to host WC 2022. Probably not the best, but Gerhard Schröder's interesting example. From fairly reasonable Chancellor of Germany doing much-needed economic reforms, to Putin's lobbyist playing big part in current energy crises in Europe by single-handedly crippling Germany by using his connections and power to spearhead lobby against nuclear and in favor of dependency on Russian gas. Brett Favre. Lance Armstrong. Dude was a cycling legend who successfully battled cancer and was looked upon as an inspiration and motivation by millions. Until they found out that he used performance-enhancing drugs. and they stripped his titles. From a cancer-defeating sports legend to a drug-cheating athlete, his downfall was really sharp. Ellen DeGeneres. Themistocles convinces Athens to build a navy to meet the coming Persian threat. Saves Greece from the Persians at the Battle of Salamis. Greeks get jealous of his fame and declare him a traitor. Themistocles has to run away from the people he saved and ends up serving the Persian king Artaxerxes, who treats him and his family with honor. Shane Dawson. Beloved father of YouTube to someone known for saying inappropriate things about around children, potentially fucking his cat, and being a manipulative snake behind the scenes with other YouTubers. One of the swiftest and most efficient cancellations I've ever seen. Victor Orban. He once was a hero in the 90s, but now he is the main villain in the EU. Walter. Surely not the best example. But self-employment. At some point you will have grown your business enough to need employees. That's when you are prone to become one of the bad guys you never wanted to work for. Or you simply don't grow enough. Edit. As I said, this isn't the best example. I don't intend to come across as condescending or biased. If you have differing opinions or experiences, please share them. Sunflower, Aaron Burr, O.J. Simpson, Frank Grimes, or Grimy, for short. Chris Benoit. He was famous as a pro wrestler until he murdered his wife and child. The African National Congress. The party mainly responsible for the liberation of the South African people from the apartheid regime. Now just a group of totally corrupt cronies. Ezra Miller. Chris Benoit. I suspect 99 of the answers will just be shitty people who we thought were cool. I might be going on a limb here, but Harvey Dent. Putin. Not really a hero, but would have been considered a hero to most Russians if he died last year. After the invasion of Ukraine, and years down the line he'll be the villain that squandered Russia's economic position and wasted Russian lives needlessly. Me. I used to be a good person. Now I'm an asshole. Edit. Comments blowing up. I can't reply to everyone, but I will say this. If you're finding your temper running away from you and your fuse is short, get help before you snap. You want to avoid doing what I did and sitting in the doctor's crying, begging for the help you've been asking for years because you finally snapped and did something horrible. If the therapy, meds, etc. are shit, complain and get better help. Use that anger and bitterness as a tool to get the help you deserve. You're not alone, you're all my heroes. This is honestly the first time I've seen an ounce of humanity on Reddit. My father-in-law. He was spotless, perfect until his wife died. Now he makes me vomit. Robespierre. Facebook. When it first came about, it was seen as a safe social media because you had to have a student ID to make an account. It was for high school and college students only. Adults at the time were worried about their kids having contact with adult predators on MySpace following many horror stories from AIM and MySpace interactions. Now it's a shit show of adults posting 24/7 and kids lying about their age to get an account. Data mining users, normalization of sharing personal data and the company not giving a shit about online safety. Chrome versus Explorer. People forget, but Chrome was once viewed as the heroic frontier market breakers. I just hope Firefox will find a hero. Anakin Skywalker. Suharto. Did amazing work in Indonesia before nepotistic corruption became his thing. Be the villain you were born to be. Stop waiting for someone to come along and corrupt you. Succumb to the darkness yourself. Ellen. Feanor. My favorite movie line ever. We see it play out in real life over and over again. A fun one from a few years ago is Michael Avenatti. He was the lawyer for the porn star suing Trump. People were saying he should run for president at one point. He's in prison now. Joe Paterno. All politicians, once they go from elected official to career politician, they become slaves to their donors and the special interests that keep them in office. If Elon Musk died 5 years ago, they'd build statues of him. Now, not so much. Rudy Giuliani, up-and-coming federal prosecutor who went after absolutely everybody in NYC in the 80s and 90s. One of the few times I've seen somebody go after all three social classes at the highest levels, and actually got convictions. And now he's something else. Google. If you disagree yet, just wait.
I hope you all are doing well, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video. If you have something to say critically or otherwise, leave a comment. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe to see more of it. I hope you all have wonderful and fulfilled lives.